everyone, my name's Encarnacion and I'm so grateful to be here with you today. Before we get started on the course, I wanted to give you a glimpse into my life so you can understand why I'm so incredibly passionate about living a holistic, healthy lifestyle. When I was diagnosed at the age of 18 with an incurable illness, I was given 2 years to live, and it was a really hard pill to swallow at the age of 18 when I had just started to live my life. I was in chronic pain. Before I was diagnosed with the condition, I had dramatically lost weight. I lost over 75 pounds in 3 months. And I had gone to multiple different doctors trying to find why I was so sick, but none of them having an answer for me. And I went to 6 different doctors. Out of those 6, 5 of them sent me to the shrink and told me it was all psychological and I was just seeking attention. The problem was I was trying to eat, but my body would not accept the food. I literally would eat a meal and within 3 minutes, it would be coming right back out onto my plate, which is really disgusting, I know. But my body would not allow me to eat. It was literally starving itself to death. I lost 75 pounds in 3 months. It was a really tough time in my life. I was super stressed out. My parents had kicked me out on the streets. 5 days after I turned 18, they were like, "You're an adult, get out. We've done what we needed to do, but it's time for you to fly the nest." And it was really difficult for me to be able to figure out how to live and how to survive. I had nowhere to go. I actually slept in my car for a couple of months until I could get enough jobs and enough income gathered to get myself an apartment. And so obviously my stress levels were super, super high. And so obviously I didn't want to go and ask my parents for help. I didn't want to admit the fact that I needed help. I was so stubborn and pig-headed. I wanted to solve everything myself, but that just wasn't possible with the condition that I had. So after about 3 months of struggling with this illness and determining that if I didn't get help immediately, I was going to die at only 97 pounds. I finally went to my father, and as soon as he saw me, he fell to his knees and he started crying because I was nothing of the girl that he had just moved out of his home. And so he immediately shut down his business and he got on the computer and he started doing research. Thankfully, he found a doctor in New York that specialized in my condition, and within 3 weeks, I actually had a diagnosis of what the problem was. The unfortunate thing is, although I had a diagnosis, the diagnosis was bleak. They gave me 2 years to live, and they said that they were basically going to dissect me until they couldn't dissect me any longer, and then I would pass away. And they were medicating me with super strong, heavy narcotics and opioids so that I could maintain a quality of life without the chronic pain that I was constantly in. Between ages of 18 and 24, I underwent over 30 surgeries on my esophagus, and my body started to get used to all of the pain meds that they had me on, so they continued to increase it and increase it and increase it. At the age of 24, I ended up getting pregnant, which I was super excited about because when they diagnosed me, they told me that I couldn't have babies. What they neglected to tell me was I could get pregnant, but the pregnancy would kill me because of the amount of pressure on the esophagus, and the weakening of the esophagus due to all the surgeries would not be able to withstand the pressure of a pregnancy. They continued to keep me on the drugs during the pregnancy because I had been on them for so many years that they were afraid withdrawal symptoms would kill the fetus, or the baby. So at 6 months along in gestation, I started having really severe abdominal pain, and I went into labor and delivery and I was complaining about my abdominal pain, and they told me, "Well, that's just pregnancy. It's your first one. You just don't realize how uncomfortable it can be. You'll be just fine." They gave me an injection of painkiller, and they sent me on my way. 2 weeks later, I went to my prenatal checkup, and I was 26 weeks along in gestation at this period, and thankfully my neonatologist, he took me very seriously regarding my pain, and my blood pressure was so high at the time that he decided to keep me and run some tests. He admitted me to the hospital, and about 2 hours after I was admitted to the hospital and they were running all these tests, he came to me with tears in his eyes and he said, "Tina, you're going to have to deliver your baby right now, because if you don't, you're going to die." and the baby's going to die as well. Unfortunately, you're in renal failure, and your liver and your kidneys look like they haven't been working in over a week. I had just begun to believe that I could live again, and it was taken out from underneath my feet. Obviously, it was a really, really difficult time in my life, and they rushed me to another hospital that had an amazing NICU, neonatal intensive care unit that could potentially keep my baby alive when she was born. Unfortunately, when she came out, she was so small because of all the drugs that the doctors had kept me on. She had to be 16 ounces to be put on the respirator, and she was only 13.8 ounces. So she couldn't be put on the machines to help her breathe, and she ended up passing away. And as I stared at my precious daughter in my arms, I realized that there was so much more to life than the diagnosis that I had accepted from the doctors. I realized that there had to be more than what I had been living for the past 6 years. Unfortunately, I fell into such a deep, dark depression after my daughter's death that I continued on the path that the doctors had told me that I was stuck on. I continued on the drugs. I continued getting the surgeries. I continued with just not really living. And 2 years later, I met my amazing husband, and we got pregnant right away after we got married. And I couldn't be on the drugs anymore. I didn't want to risk the possibility of losing another baby. So I started doing a ton of research. And through that research, I learned that there are other options out there besides just medication and surgeries. The doctors did not agree with me taking myself off of the drugs. However, it was important to me to give my daughter every possible chance to survive. So through my research, I found that frankincense essential oil has the same pain relieving property as the drugs that I was on. I got my hands on a bottle of that frankincense oil, and I literally was bathing in it. I was drinking it. I was applying it over my esophagus every single day. And within about 60 days, I was off of all of my medication. I also started to change my lifestyle. I started eating healthy. I stopped eating fast food. I got rid of the sugars and the processed foods in my diet. I started moving. Up until that point, I was so medicated that I didn't exercise. And so I started moving and exercising. I started making sure that I got enough sleep for my body to start to heal itself. I started working really hard at reducing my stress load in my life. And I just made some really important changes in order for me to be able to survive without medication. Today, I'm married to an amazing man. I have 3 beautiful children, ages 7, 8, and 9. I haven't been on medication in over 10 years now, and I haven't had a surgery in 10 years as well. You guys, I have surpassed the life expectancy by 20 years that those doctors gave me. It is absolutely amazing that through the knowledge of what a healthy lifestyle looks like and how your body is made to heal itself, and giving my body the nutrients and the support it needed, it was able to allow me to survive even without being on medication. Because of how dramatically my life has changed due to this healthy lifestyle, I now travel all over the United States teaching others how to take their life back, teaching them how to eat correctly, teaching them how simple and inexpensive it can be, teaching them how to exercise in your home without a gym membership, teaching you how to get proper sleep, how to reduce your stress load, and how to remove the toxins from your environment so that your body is not constantly fighting for life. So that is my story, and that's why I'm here. And I am so very, very excited to get started with you on your personal journey and help you along the way. I want you to know I will be with you every step of the way. Even when you finish this program, you can still get in contact with me on my website, tinaencarnacion.com, or join in to any of the community support tools that I have available to you guys. I can't wait to start teaching you exactly what I did to be able to take complete control of my health and my life and be able to once again live life. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. Have a wonderful day.